Hello guys, good evening or good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to our channel, Divine Truth Tarot. I am Sarah and I am your intuitive guide. I need to name him. Let me know in the comments or in the live chat if you guys have a name for our little wolf friend, because he's our mascot for the channel. So let me know. I don't know if it's a female or a male, but let me know what you think. I think it's a female. I think she's a female. She's a divine feminine. And we have a special reading for you tonight. We are doing I've been talking too much. We are doing a reading about the journey. So this is not divine masculine, divine feminine per se, but it's about the journey, what's going on with the journey. So for the journeying cards, I'm using the Halloween Oracle, the Sacred Destiny Oracle, and an Oracle deck that's a little more, it's deep and it's comprehensive, so I don't use it all the time, but it's the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So we're going to be looking into the energies of all three of these cards. And I want to find out what's going on with the journey. So those of you who have been following me know that I don't predict time. I can't tell you definitely if this is your twin flame. That's a very personal question that you should be asking your own soul and your guides and your higher self, communing with your twin's higher self. However, there's a lot of things changing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then tune in to my earlier video from today. Go ahead and check that out, because there's a lot of things that I want to communicate, but I have to be careful. There's a, divine timing, divine plan as to when I communicate these things. I'm only allowed to share certain things at a certain time. What I will say is that December is still slated to be very, 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 can't stress that enough, important, with changes that are occurring in the twin flame dynamic. And many of you are already going to know what I'm speaking of. We also have the Jupiter-Saturn mashup, Jupiter-Saturn meeting on December 21st, I believe. Why am I doubting that now? I'm 99% sure that that's accurate. And that is a very rare occurrence, and it's also going to put things into perspective, and it's going to shed truth and light on many things. Third eyes are going to blast open at that time. The masculine is going to be seen clearly for the first time really ever in this connection. They've had glimpses here and there. They've had signs here and there, but they're going to be able to put the whole story together about why they met you when they did, why things were complicated, why all the obstacles were in the way, why they couldn't step away from their karmic situation, why couldn't you just be together, why. They're going to start to see clearly. They're going to be receiving visions and signs and hearing things and feeling things, and it's going to help them move forward towards you and away from that which is, it's just not, it goes so much farther than just it doesn't serve them. They're going to be moving away from their past. They're going to be putting that to bed, putting that to rest, and they're finally going to be accepting their divine mission, which is to be in union with their counterpart, which is to be with the love of their life. And they're going to realize their worth. They're going to realize their role and their mission in all of this. And they're going to realize that they don't want you to slip away, that they don't want to see their counterpart with anybody else. And they're going to feel the pull on such a level that their human self won't even be able to avoid it anymore. So you're going to be magnetically feeling this pull and this draw more and more as we approach December. Okay, so that being said, let's get into the reading. We're going to start off with the Mystical Shaman deck. Okay. So we will put these two decks aside for later viewing. Okay. All right. So we are inviting in the sacred ancestors, my guides, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. Please bless this reading, and please create a sphere of crystal protection around the cards, around this reading, around myself, around my energy, and around anyone and their energy that's viewing or watching this channel at any point in time. This is a timeless reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We also ask that our ancestors, my ancestors, walk the path with me in this journey, in this reading for the journey, and that my guides who wish to be present assist me in seeing accurately what needs to be seen at this time, what needs to be heard, and what needs to be felt at this time, so that I can communicate it clearly to anyone who's watching. And so it is. Thank you for helping me step into my power, and thank you for helping me see clearly. I appreciate each and every one of you. Aho. Okay, let's get started. I just saw the coyote trickster. So what that tells me, it'll be more interesting and potent if that decides to come out in the reading, but what that tells me is that there's some trickster energy around, and so a lot of people are going to be feeling like they're in doubt. Okay, there's things to watch out for at this time. So as I'm shuffling the cards, there's things to watch out for. I just saw a person I quickly unfollowed on Instagram, and she was posting, and it was all her projections. And so I think as readers, we all have to be careful of projecting our stories or our fears or insecurities or our timelines onto other people. And I always try to be really respectful of that. I'm not perfect. I'm still, a human, a spiritual being in this human body and human experience and human classroom. So I try to catch myself anytime I think that I may be doing that. And I try to keep the energy as clear and coherent as possible. But what she said was that, your counterpart isn't ready at this time, and you've moved on with someone else, and go divine feminine. And I had to say something. And I said, look, please don't project your beliefs, your timelines, your, union energy or whatever you call it onto, and it made me doubt if she was a twin at that point, onto other people who are very susceptible and who are also very in need of information at this time, who are very in need of clarity and confirmation and validation, and who were just easily going to, eat up her words like they were truth. And I said, you need to be careful you're not projecting your truth onto others. And a few people spoke up, and said, thank you for saying that. But it wasn't about, the recognition. It was about the fact that I felt like this person maybe didn't even realize what she was doing, I said, it's dangerous. Your words cast spells, and people are going to sit here and think that your words are truth, and maybe they're true for you, but that doesn't mean they're true for everyone. So to sit here and say your counterpart isn't ready, timelines can shift in an instant. That's why I don't predict timing, guys. So understand that if you're reading things like that, you need to be very careful and protective of your energy, because there's a lot of stuff circulating right now. There's a lot of people pretending to be readers. I'm seeing it all over Instagram. I don't have an Instagram social media page. I have a private page. It's just for me and my family and friends. But just be aware of that. Be aware of that. Be very, very guarded at this time with your sacred energy and with your sacred union. It is not true that the divine masculines are not ready. Those timelines are shifting rapidly, and they could shift instantaneously. Don't buy into that bullshit, because why would you want to believe that? Why would you want to sit here and believe my counterpart isn't ready? That's going to become your reality, and that's going to be your truth, and that's what you're going to see in your reality. That's what you're going to see pop up. So if you don't want that, don't believe it. Don't buy into it. Don't repeat it. Don't speak it. Don't think it. Don't say it. Okay? So important that you protect your unions at this time. I can't tell you how important that is. So if a reader, ever tells you, this isn't your twin flame, or, union isn't in this lifetime, or any of that, I want you to just be protective and take what resonates, and please leave what doesn't. Okay. All right, Spirit, let's get some journey energy, please. Journey energy, please. Journey energy. Where are the twins at in their journey at this time? What is the journey energy, please? Journey energy. Well, let's just see. These cards are a little more challenging to shuffle, this deck, but let's see. Thunder. So I see this as a thunderbolt, like something just hitting the divine masculine, and him going, oh my gosh, I know what this is. I know what I need to do. This is like a thunderbolt of clarity, a moment of clarity, a moment of acceptance, a moment of realization. This is so powerful. So this is like a tower moment in and of itself. A lot of tower energy surrounding the journeys right now. And what does thunder do? Why is it scary? Because it warns. It's like an ominous sign, and it warns of things to come. It warns of a storm. So the animals, right? Animals fear it. Animals seek shelter. What do? People seek shelter. People go inside. So it's almost like an escape from the elements, an escape from the external world, going within, bringing you back into a place of your own security, your own warmth, and knowing that you create your own reality from within. So when thunder shows up in a reading for the journey, I think about there's a big change around the corner. Okay, there is a big change about to happen for the twins. And a lot of you are feeling this energy very deeply. And the thing that's frustrating, okay, and this is why we become susceptible to outside influences, is that we don't see it showing up in the 3D. So we doubt. Okay, we have fears. We doubt what we feel. We doubt what we know to be true. We doubt our hearts, and we try to seek answers with our minds. We can't do that on this journey. There's no explaining this journey to anyone who doesn't understand it. There's no explaining it to yourself. It doesn't make any sense. I remember having that conversation with my own counterpart. It doesn't make sense. There's no explaining it. It just is. It just is a connection, and we have to understand that. So Thunderbolt it's a warning, but it's a good warning. It's telling us that this journey is about to unfold in a very dramatic way. And again, expect the unexpected is what I'm hearing. And there's something very powerful that's about to be set in motion, and you may feel a little powerless. You know, what's happening for my twins that are in communication, what I'm hearing and what I'm getting from you guys and what you're sharing with me is that just because you're in communication doesn't mean it's any easier. Just because you're living with your twin, or you're dating your twin again, or you're going on a date, whatever the situation might be, doesn't mean you're not experiencing triggers. You are. So some of us are experiencing triggers in solitaire, and some of us are experiencing triggers with our twin. It's just your union. There's no right way or wrong way. It's not good or bad. One way isn't better. It's just different. So regardless, the twins that are in communication are feeling the same tower moments, are feeling the same triggers that the twins that aren't in communication are. We're just dealing with it in different ways. Okay, the twins that are doing it in solitaire, you're dealing with it on your own, and you're communicating in the 5D with your twin, and the ones that are in 3D communication are dealing with it in the 3D realm, okay? So I want you guys to be prepared. This is a time of preparedness. And think of this journey as an adventure. If we can get out of this mindset of, you know, this is a curse, or this is like, why me, or poor me, or I want off this journey, why couldn't someone else be chosen, why the hell did I choose this journey, or any of those thoughts that come up for all of us, see if you can seek it out as this, I'm blessed and my soul chose this, and I remember that I chose this. Remember the love, remember the pact you made, the promise you made to your divine masculine, just as he made the promise to you. Remember that this is an adventure, and amazing, incredible, magical, serendipitous opportunities are arriving now in the journey. And I want you guys to know that the secret here is not to doubt them, not to try to control them, because you are powerless in a sense. This is happening. This is this is the universe taking control and taking over at this point. So you're going to want to be flexible. You're going to want to be open-minded. You're going to want to be willing to experience this for what it is, and not what you need it or want it to be. This is all about the destined path arriving to you. So what they're showing me is they're showing me a rug that's unfolding. And as the rug unfolds, the journey unfolds. So that's what's happening right now. You can't see it until it's ready to be revealed. That's really powerful. That's a really powerful vision. So you can't see it until the divine wants you to see it, for lack of a better way of explaining it. So the divine has something up its sleeve, and when you're ready to receive it, it will be revealed. It will be rolled out to you like a red carpet. And then your destiny will show up on your doorstep. For many of you, that's going to be the case. It will actually show up on your doorstep with roses in hand, and, you know, waiting to whisk you away, kind of like in that scene in Pretty Woman, in the way that only your divine masculine can deliver that. So it's going to, again, be different for all of us. For some people, you know, they might present you with like your favorite, I don't know, like movie. Like it's going to be different. These divine masculines aren't all going, it's not cookie cutter. They're not going to arrive all in the same fashion, but in a sense, that's what it's going to feel like. It's going to be the perfect gift for you. It's going to be something that you can't believe they remembered you told them that you liked or that was important to you. And it's going to be like your favorite candy, or they're going to remember that you wanted to go somewhere, and they're going to present you with, you know, a trip to that place, or they're going to, in some way, they're going to whisk you off your feet in a way that makes you feel like the most special person on this earth. You know, they'll set up a romantic picnic for you. They'll fly in to see you and they're going to surprise you. Or, you know, they're not even going to know if you're going to be receptive, but they're going to be so brave and courageous, they're going to do it anyway. I see that for a lot of people. I see that there's just going to show up in your city if they live, you know, if you live at a distance, and they're just going to say, here I am. And they're not going to they're not going to know what to expect. And that's so brave. They're going to really open up their hearts and they're going to trust in what they're feeling inside their heart, that you're feeling it too. That's how big the pull is going to be, this gravitational pull. Pachamama, this is about Mother Earth. So what can we say about Mother Earth? Well, Mother Earth is going through the same purification that we are at an individual level and at a collective level. Pachamama speaks of the unconditional love that Gaia has, Mother Earth has, for everyone and everything, all the animals, all the creatures, the trees, the blades of grass, you know, the butterflies, the people, the rivers, the lakes, the oceans, the hills, the valleys, the mountains. It's about that unconditional love, and how beautiful that this shows up, unconditional love, the element of this showing up for the journey. So unconditional love is flowing into these unions, and Spirit wants you to know that Spirit has your back. And that the earth, the universe is benevolent and wants to deliver this unconditional love to you. It wants to show you. So look around for signs right now of unconditional love in every form, in the form of your animals, your pets, in the form of nature showing you this, in the form, you know, nature kissing you on the cheek with, you know, a gush of wind or a raindrop it falling on your forehead, or you know, hot water coming out of the faucet. But just look for things. Listen for signs that show you that you are unconditionally loved and you're protected. So we're experiencing, you know, we're a timeless soul, and we're experiencing for a brief moment in time, we're here on earth and we're in this human body, and we experience joy, we experience pleasure, we experience pain and sadness and grief and shame, and we experience anger, and we experience the highs and the lows, and we experience love. And all of this, every single emotion is an invitation to experience love. Every single emotion can be transmuted to love. Everything comes back to love. Everything is love at its core. Separation is love, right? In the separation, there is this bountiful, boundless, unconditional love that you two have for each other. So that's very much showing up in your reading here. There's an element here of wanting to release suffering, and just wanting to really relish the life that you've been given. So every time you take a deep breath, you just feel what you're breathing in that unconditional love, breathing in that bliss, breathing in that joy, letting go of the fear, letting go of the anger, letting go of the doubt and insecurities. See everything as a reflection of you, as a reflection of the unconditional love that Mother Earth has for you, and watch how things transform. We have Wild Woman and we have the Sorcerer. Wild Woman to me speaks of the divine feminine. We're going to put our woofie here because it very much speaks of the divine feminine element present within these connections. So both divine feminine and divine masculine are really nurturing the divine feminine energy within them. They're realizing that, you know, the masculine realizes that you are everything he or she has ever asked for, has ever desired. Yes, you scare them. You know, yes, you're a thunderbolt at times. Yes, you bring in thunder into their lives, but they also see and feel the unconditional love now, and it's all coming full circle. They're seeing the big picture, and they love your wild heart. They love your wildness. They don't want to cage you like other men or women have tried to cage you and change you. Divine feminine, they don't want to do that. They accept you at face value, and they always have. When I see Wild Woman come up in the journey, for the journey reading, I feel like we're being reminded of our authenticity. We're being reminded to bask in the glory of the freedom that we've been given on this journey, to really truly become ourselves. And I say become ourselves rather than be ourselves because we are always ourselves, but we've stifled that. We've worn a mask. We've tried to snuff out our uniqueness and our wildness to fit in, because society is like a square hole and we're a round peg. And we've never fit in, and we never will. We're the misfits of society, right? We're the sorcerers, the magicians, the artists of society. But we've tried and we've failed. And it's brought us great, great sorrow and pain, depression, anxiety, hopelessness, and fear. And we no longer feel the need to do that because now we have sisters and brothers that understand us. And so we stand out and we thrive. And we decide to be in the limelight. We decide that our life is worth living authentically. Now, the wild woman holds up a mirror for everyone around her, so she can be uncomfortable to be around if somebody is not comfortable in themselves. So this is why the masculines in the past, notice how I'm saying past tense, have run, because the wild woman was like, whoa, she's holding up all of these mirrors and all of these things to me that I'm not ready to see. She doesn't allow, I sent my masculine this poem about the wild woman, and I said to him, this was months ago, last year, and I said to him, are you going to play it safe, or are you going to take the risk to be with me? And he said, what do you think? And I said, I don't know. You haven't, you haven't shown me, you haven't proven to me that you're willing to take that risk, that you have the courage, at that time to let go of everything that was, quote unquote stable and the foundation, because I wasn't offering that foundation or that stability. I was offering this passionate thunderbolt of unconditional love. I was offering freedom, and I was offering a life of authenticity where we could be ourselves and love each other unconditionally in the highs and the lows, and in the cracks and crevices and the places where we felt unlovable. It was an invitation. My love was an invitation to love those parts of himself, which he didn't even love. So when you don't love those parts of yourself, you can't let anyone else in to love them because you don't feel worthy. And that's ultimately what it comes down to with the masculines, is they did not feel worthy of the receiving of the love from the feminine because they themselves didn't love themselves enough. The wild woman reminds us that we each have an illumination within us. We each have the light within us, and that it gets dimmed by restrictions, by societal obligations and societal bullshit, by what our parents told us we should be or who we could be, by what our teachers or, universities or schools, indoctrination told us, oh, you should do this, you should be this. And the wild woman says, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be who I want to be because that's who I am. I'm becoming who I am. I've always been him or her, but now I get to become. Now I get to actually transform into that person. And we shine our light really brightly. So, when this comes up for the journey, the masculines are saying they're receiving these thunderbolts of awareness, these thunderbolts of aha moments to step into unconditional love for themselves. And then from that point, they can accept your unconditional love. They can accept the divine feminine within them rather than pushing her down or pushing her away because vulnerability was scary. Now they see it as power, and they see it as, rather than seeing it as their crutch or seeing it as something that they should be embarrassed about or ashamed about, now they see it as something that is their strength. They see that they're courageous when they dig deep and they look under the rug, where they've swept everything in. They look in the corners of their soul, and what they're going to find is you. They're going to find the divine feminine. They're going to find you. And that's the aha moment. That's the major aha moment where everything shifts and everything changes. And all of a sudden they go, she was there all along. My divine feminine never left me. I just had to find her within myself. And then once they do that, they'll find you again. Just like once you find your divine masculine and you honor him inside of you, your divine masculine and the external world can find you again, okay? It's you both coming to terms with the other half of you, the other whole of you. When we look at the sorcerer, sorcerer coming out with a wild woman, really extra powerful. So where the wild woman represents the light, the sorcerer represents the dark. I find this very telling, very, very powerful. The light and the dark, the light and the shadows, the yin and the yang, okay, the masculine and the feminine energy. So this is the merging of the energies, the merging of the energy fields, and the divine union within oneself. that's being found, because this is the journey energy. It's being found in both of you. So when the sorcerer comes up, the sorcerer represents that destructive element of our psyche or of a subconscious, the repetitive patterns, the self-hatred, okay, the self-betrayal that I talk about, the self-abandonment that I talk about. And it's those unconscious beliefs and ideas that get us believing in separation, get us believing in conflict, in scarcity, in fear, that make us feel like we can't be everything that we came here to be. Bullshit. Make us feel like we don't deserve this union. So we say, oh, it's they're not ready, or I should find someone else, or this or that. Or we just say, oh, that job, I'm not worthy of that job. Or I don't, like, who am I to make six figures? Well, who are you not to make six figures, divine feminine? Who are you not to be powerful and successful? You came here and you carry so much power and so much light and so much magic. Who are you not to make six figures, seven figures? Who are you not to be the millionaire? Who are you not to be the powerful embodiment of the divine? Who are you not to practice and preach and accept and receive unconditional love? Who are you not to be the woman of freedom or the man of freedom who allows everyone in his or her vicinity to experience that freedom, experience that light? Who are you not, I ask you? So when the sorcerer shows up in the journey here, you're being asked to look at how your beliefs, how do they manifest in your world? And we're just talking about that in terms of money, right? In terms of career, in terms of relationship, in terms of separation, the separation that we're actually separate and that we're not actually connected to source, and that you are not a God particle, and that you're actually separate from your twin when you're never separate from your twin. As you can see, they're always with you. So remember that everything is connected and the universe is benevolent, the universe is abundant. So remember that these perceived flaws that you carry they were never flaws. They're part of your own perfection. So when we perceive flaws in ourselves, we tend to project these onto people in our lives. Right? People in the external world. And then we project them and we cause them pain, because when you're in pain, you hurt people, right? So you cause other people pain. We've all done it. We've all been there. I don't know a single person who's never done this. So if you're raising your hand, I want you to think again. I want you to think deeper about the times where you've projected your hurt and pain and self-betrayal onto other people because you haven't been able to face your own shadows. It's interesting because we did some shadow cards today for the masculine, but this coming up in the journey energy tells me that we're at the point where we're courageous enough to face our shadows. And we're doing shadow work right now. We're doing some dismantling of those fears and those false beliefs. And we're bringing in more power to the connection. We're dismantling those. It's bringing in thunder, because the dark side knows that when the light can face their own shadows, there's no more need for the darkness. We've already faced it inside of ourselves, so we don't need to see it in the external world anymore. Do you see that? Do you see how powerful that is? How absolutely powerful that can be? And we don't even need to see it outside because we're facing it internally. When we face it internally, we don't need to project it into the external world. So there will be less pain, there will be less hate, there will be less bigotry or racism or sexism, separation, fear, anger, self-betrayal, self-abandonment. We won't need to do those things because we're going to resolve them within ourselves and come back into alignment. So there's a book called Radical, I'm actually looking at it right now. There's a book called Radical Forgiveness. And then there's this concept of radical self-acceptance, right? Can we radically forgive ourselves and others? And then can we radically accept ourselves? Can we accept ourselves? Radical self-acceptance. I challenge you to step into your shadow work if you haven't already. And I challenge you to list, how many, Spirit? 25 things that you love about yourself. 25 things that you love about yourself. To actually write them down on a piece of paper, pen and paper, not on your notes, because the brain does something really incredible when you actually take pen to paper versus just typing or, putting something on your iPad or iPhone or something. Pen and paper. 25 things that you love about yourself. And it's not allowed to be, oh, so-and-so said that I'm this or that. No, 25 things that you love and accept about yourself. And then I want you to do a column of 25 things or less that you don't like about yourself, that you don't accept about yourself. And I want you to see how the answer to self-acceptance lies in your own thinking, lies in your own beliefs. All the power lies within you to change those things, and notice how they may line up. Notice how you may claim to love this about yourself, but then in this other column you're saying, wait a minute, I actually don't like this about myself. So notice how your strengths can also be your weaknesses, and your weaknesses can be your strengths. Notice how they interact like that. Notice how both columns will start interacting, and see where you can make some alignment. See where you can come into alignment with yourself, where you can free yourself, okay? Where you can free yourself from those places where you're pretending to love yourself and maybe you actually don't. Okay? Let's pull out the Halloween Oracle. I think I'm going to do more of these journey readings because this is turning out to be really powerful, and I forget how powerful these mystical shaman cards actually are. I mean, when Thunder is the first card that comes out, you know it's going to be a powerful reading. Okay. Messages for the journey, Spirit. Messages for the journey right now. Messages for the journey. Messages for the journey. Okay. The veil, the future. The future, the way I see this, is the future is not being revealed yet. And we're not supposed to know what the future is, because if we knew, then it wouldn't be half as fun. We wouldn't be able to be surprised. And the universe loves to surprise us and tease us. And basically, this card is saying that if you think you know, you have no idea. The veil. Let's take a look at the book for this one. This is about the veil lifting between worlds. So yes, I've been saying that as we approach Halloween, that the veil is thinning every day a little bit more. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And just know that everything is going to be revealed in the right time. And the ancestors are very close at this time. So I'm just reading from the book. The ancestors are very close. And the gods are close as well. So expect to receive, in the journey for now, both twins are receiving communication from ancestors, from those who have passed, and also from their guides and gods and goddesses and archangels, ascended masters. And that the divine is speaking through your ancestors at this time. I also see this just, intuitively, the way I read it, as I said, is that there's a reason why we don't know everything at this time. There's a reason why certain truths haven't been revealed in the 3D yet. Hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. So there's some warmth coming into these connections. There's some warmth. Again, I feel like the passion, big time. The passion is coming back into these connections. So if you feel like the passion sort of